Iwo Jima, one tiny speck on a map of the vast Pacific. But today, 8 square miles that had to be paid for in blood and agony and violent death. Iwo had to be paid for. Militarily, it is the most important rung in the ladder of key bases first planted on Tarawa. Tarawa, where the Marines moved in for the first taste of savage enemy resistance on the Japs' own territory. Marines preparing for the hell of Iwo. The cost was great. Over 960 Marines fought their last battle on Tarawa. Their comrades who lived carried the fight to Iwo Jima, over 700 miles beyond Saipan and only 625 sea miles from Tokyo. New control of the routes vitally needed for final victory over Japan. Now the story of the battle for the island. Air power plays its part in the routine pattern of invasion. Air power pounding for 74 consecutive days at Iwo. Foot for foot, the most heavily defended spot in the world. The planes returned to the carriers, some headed for disaster. The pilot swims to safety as the tempo of attack mounts to a climax. Navy guns open up in the most intensive sea and air bombardment yet delivered against so small an island. This is it. This is H-hour. A vast transport armada is ready. Naval power built by those of us back here. LSTs from Pittsburgh, assault boats from Evansville, Indiana, radar from Chicago, alligators from Portland, Oregon, LCTs from Orange, Texas. Ready for Iwo Jima. Now the bombardment mounts in intensity, salvo after salvo. LVTs go in after tons of shells have ripped the island. An island pounded relentlessly for 3 days by 800 ships and 1,000 planes. These are the men of the 3rd and 4th and 5th Marine Divisions, brought ashore by Navy and heroic Coast Guard coxswains, making trip after trip under fire. Already the first of the 60,000 men to go ashore may be seen, tiny figures in the distance, beginning the furious attack the enemy had long expected and prepared for. From the hills, the Japs pour merciless fire on the beach. Millions of things must be ferried in. Water, food, vehicles, ammunition, medicine. Mountains of supplies to give our men everything they need. The beaches are like hot cinders. The air smells of death. And men rush to take cover from enemy mortars, bullets, and rockets. Not all of the boats come in. For 2 miles of the invasion beach, the wreckage is incalculable. Wreckage wherever you look, and human wreckage. A wounded gunner who stayed at his post until the very last. Elsewhere, the first prisoners of the 20,000 Japs on Iwo are brought in. Well-fed, tough, and dangerous. Perhaps only 1 Jap in 100 on the island will leave under his own power. 12,000 of them were killed during the time they slaughtered over 2,000 of our men. And while prisoners are dealt with, preparations move ahead for the attack on Mount Suribachi. Now we are beginning to carve a line across the island. The toughest battle in 168 years of Marine Corps history moves ahead. More and more supplies come in, though some are mired in the soft volcanic sand that made this operation a nightmare for supply experts. Wrecked barges testify to the price we paid to get troops ashore on Iwo. On a quick tour of inspection, Secretary of the Navy Forrestal salutes Holland Smith's men as wounded are cared for. There were over 5,000 casualties in the first 58 hours of fighting. 3 casualties to every 2 minutes of action. Some Jap caves and dugouts were 30 to 40 feet deep and had to be blasted out. 2-story pillboxes, an island honeycombed with underground passageways. Many of our men went 60 hours without food or sleep. Now, ready for attack on the key air base. These amazing films were photographed under fire inside a tank by Corporal J. Shute, 4th Division Marine Corps cameraman, in the drive toward the bomber field and beyond. Japs caught in the fire of our attack. An actual transcription made on the spot as tank operators contact each other via two-way radio.
Hello, Steve. Hello, Steve. This is Tom. Over. Hello, Steve. Hello, Steve. Over. Hello, Tom. Hello, Tom. This is Steve. Over. The infantry isn't around us at all. And right we're up here, there's a couple of pillboxes. We're getting a hell of a lot of artillery fire.
Yes, a lot of artillery, a lot of everything, as we move ahead to victory in the Pacific, nearer and nearer Tokyo. In the bloody dust of this island, the Marines have written one more great story to rank with Wake, Guadalcanal, Tarawa. These are pictures America will never forget, must never forget. The heroism and courage of the United States Marines flies with this flag over Iwo Jima.